Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. Day 24 of the scale model tugboat build, the Banbury Cross. It's coming together. Today's video is entitled Setbacks and Solutions. I did think today would be snagging or producing a list of snags. Little did I know how serious that list was to become. As you see from this clip, the prop shafts are just supported at the stern end, at the bulkhead. So removing the deck meant uncoupling them from the motors and then removing the deck. Lo and behold, one of the prop shafts collapsed. The single point arrolditing had failed. I always knew I was going to have to support the propeller shaft tubes somehow, but getting in to arroldite them was always the problem. So drastic measures call for drastic solutions. I sawed the deck up, removed the rear stern quarter at the tilt part, which is directly above the stern tube bulkhead. So now I can see the bulkhead and the propeller tubes. I decided to craft, and I say craft in a very loose way, craft a piece of wood with a bit of an angle on it to support the tubes. I would then glue the piece of wood to the hull once it had been positioned to support the tubes. I placed the deck back on temporarily, attached the propeller shafts back to the motors for correct alignment, and then through the space in the deck which I'd now created by sawing off the rear quarter, I could see to arroldite the stern tubes, temporarily to the wood and temporarily to the bulkhead. Time for lunch, and then on return the quick set and arroldite rapid was set enough for me to uncouple the prop shafts from the motors, remove the deck and see the wood in place, slightly askew, but that doesn't bother me. It's supporting the shafts and that's its only job. There's no aesthetics involved. There's no beauty show going on below decks. It's got one job and one job only, and that's to support the prop shafts. So Once the deck was removed and I could see the prop shafts, the bulkhead and the wood, I could mix up a liberal amount of araldite and coat the shafts where they touched the wood, and coat the shaft tubes where they exited the bulkhead. And that should be a suitable solution for the future. I also decided to make a light case for the electronics, bearing in mind that I don't want the electronics to be completely below deck, because I might struggle with radio control signal. The 2.4 gigahertz signal is passed through the airwaves with a shortish antenna, and I don't know any way of lengthening it and keeping it a suitable frequency. If any of yous are wiser than me on radio control 2.4 gigahertz, especially on the receiver part, please let me know in the comments, and I might well adopt it at a later stage. As it is, I plan to put the electronics just below deck level, and then the reach from the aerial might be sufficient to give me the signal I want for when the boat is on a stretch of water. The box I chose and used was a Christmas gift from some friends who were also neighbours. So thank you to John, Hazel and family for a lovely gift, which included a box of, I won't mention the chocolates, but the small spheres, hazelnut content, wrapped in foil. I duly polished the chocolates off over Christmas time, and I was putting the box to good use. So a simple bracket surrounding the box, a couple of holes drilled in the deck, and the box is now supported. So if there was any ingress of water, the electronics aren't necessarily the first thing to touch the water. Hopefully I would see the boat listing or a bit too low and get it back to safety. I fully expect water to get in now and again, but I'd like to keep the electronics working. There's a small investment in them, and I want to keep that for this and possibly future projects. So the day hasn't turned out exactly as I planned. There's no more flotation checks. I wanted to check how much ballast I would have to put in, but that'll wait till another day. So thanks for joining me. Solutions after setbacks. That's the name of the game of projects. See you again soon.